Hello my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I want to share with you 10 ways to organize your life with a functional planner. If you're anything like most of the women in my community, you are smart, ambitious, and you're juggling a lot. You've got personal goals that you want to make progress on, work responsibilities that never seem to end, and a life at home that keeps your heart full, but your hands very, very busy. So you've probably tried planners before, maybe even stacks of them. They were beautiful and full of potential, but none of them ever seemed to work. Not because you failed, but because they were missing something essential: a system. A system that could hold the complexity of your life, a system that helps you turn your ideas into action, a system that guides you through the real work of getting organized and staying consistent without burning out. And that's exactly why I created the Charmed Life Master Planner. It's more than just a planner, it's a holistic productivity framework built for women like you. Women who want to do more than survive the chaos of life. You want to design it, you want to live it and lead it. This planner gives you the clarity, structure, and flexibility that you need to plan your goals, organize your time, and create a life that feels balanced and fulfilling. If you're new to functional planning, today I want to share with you 10 ways to organize your life with a functional planner, featuring the Charmed Life Master Planner inserts to get a sense of how to apply these tips into your planner. So number one is to define the vision for your year. So without a clear vision, even your most well-intentioned goals can feel scattered, unfocused, and hard to stick to. And that's why one of the first and most foundational steps to organizing your life is to root your goals in your true priorities, or what I like to call your uppercase P priorities. So these aren't vague categories like health or career. They're real, tangible people, places, institutions in your life that matter most to you. And the very first priority is you, because nothing in your life works if you're not supported, nourished, and well. So inside of the Charmed Life Master Planner, we have a goals page to help you clearly define up to 5 of your personal priorities for the year. So for each one, you can outline up to 3 specific goals that you want to bring to life. These goals aren't just random tasks, they're meaningful outcomes that reflect your deeper desires and direction for your year. And then using the vision board spread, you'll be able to bring those goals to life in a visual and emotional way. So this is more than a pretty collage, it's a personal manifesto. You will fill it with quotes that motivate you, images that capture your dream lifestyle, symbols of strength, rest, abundance, or whatever it is that you're calling into your life this year. So I want to go ahead and show you guys an example of what this looks like inside the planner. Like I said, here is the goal planning insert. And then you can see I've actually added a few little tidbits in there. So the first priority is you. You could say that your goal is to run a 5K this year, and you even have space to identify like a key habit that will help bring you closer to that goal. And in this instance, it was to run for 60 minutes, 5 days a week. And then we have the vision board layout, right? This is the layout blank. And then what you could do is take that goal, that 5K goal, and put it on your vision board, right? Add some things about that goal: an inspiring quote, photos of running shoes, a scenic trail, your favorite healthy recipes to keep you focused, how it feels to be energized and well. Here you can see I've just put a few little pictures, of a good running form, and just like an example of what you might, feel like you want to look like while you're running. So when your goals are grounded in what matters most, and then you have them visually reinforced with intention, you will feel much more connected to them and far more likely to follow through on them. Tip number 2 is to forward plan your year. So one of the most overlooked productivity habits is forward planning. So looking ahead to understand how your year is likely to unfold so you can make intentional decisions about what fits where. Because here's the truth: if you don't proactively plan your time, something else will fill it for you. So forward planning is about making space in your year for what matters most before your calendar gets overwhelmed with everyone else's priorities. So inside of the Charmed Life Master Planner, we have 2 key inserts that help you take control of your long-term schedule. First is the yearly tracker that gives you a bird's eye view of the entire year, and you can use it to block off time for vacations, family events, work deadlines, content launches, or recurring appointments. The yearly overview expands on this by allowing you to track multiple categories of your life, like school schedules, wellness routines, travel, or seasonal cycles. I personally love to track my astrological transits here and some other important things that I need to remember when I've done them so that I do them on a recurring basis. So both spreads are essential for women managing layered responsibilities, whether you are balancing career projects, family life, or your own creative business. So here's a little bit of an example for you. I'll go back to the yearly tracker. This is what it looks like blank, and you can see I've just gone in and I've filled in a vacation, some travel, right, and a product launch, right? So you could go in and actually outline when things are going to be happening throughout your year. And then with the yearly overview, this is what it looks like blank. This is actually a 4-page spread, so 2 actual spreads. You're just looking at the first 2 pages here because each page is broken out by quarter. But the yearly overview actually gives you the ability to go in and like mark off different areas of your life, things that you need to remember. So this is a great place to like track your partner's travel schedule, your children's school events, and even your self-care commitment. So there's tons of different ways you can use any of these. I just want to give you guys an idea of the kind of planning that you could be doing in these inserts to forward plan, which is going to help you prevent burnout, and it's going to help you prevent scheduling conflicts, and it's going to give you the confidence to say yes or no to new opportunities because you'll know what's realistic and aligned with your vision because you have your year laid out and you can see what is upcoming and you can see where you've blocked out time for your own goals and priorities. And so you know whether or not you can take on more things throughout the year. Tip number 3 is to design your ideal day. So when your days feel chaotic or disjointed, it's often because you're reacting to life instead of designing it. So productivity doesn't come from doing more. It comes from creating intentional rhythms that support your energy, your goals, and your well-being. That's why designing your ideal day is such a game changer. It's not about building the perfect routine. It's about crafting a flexible schedule and structure that you can return to when life gets busy and your focus starts to slip. So inside of the Charmed Life Master Planner, we have the My Ideal Day insert, and this is your space to do exactly that, right? So it includes a weekday layout with a timetable format, which is perfect for blocking your workday or for planning out a high output day from morning to evening. So what would be your ideal flow of events on those busy work days that you have, or those busy days where you are nonstop and you really need structure to help you schedule the flow of your actions. And then you have an optional box layout, which I consider the weekend layout, with these flexible boxes that are, more ideal for less structured days when you want like a simpler flow without pressure of a schedule, right? So you have kind of 2 formats on this page to help you create the flow that you need for the types of days that you might experience. So you'll use this spread to build a daily cadence that reflects your priorities. Start by blocking time for the essentials like work, meals, and rest, and then layer in space for habits like routines and reading, workouts, creative time, or your evening wind down rituals. So here is an example of what this might look like once you start filling it out, right? And you actually start blocking off time for your ideal daily flow. And the purpose of this is not necessarily to have it scheduled hour by hour completely filled in, but it's really to help you map out like what your personal rhythm would be for an ideal day, something that can help to ground you when your schedule gets thrown off track, and a helpful tool to reflect on how you're actually spending your time. Tip number 4 is to build your ideal weekly schedule. So if your days are the building blocks of your productivity, your weeks are the blueprint. So while many people try to cram everything into a 24-hour window, the truth is that you don't need to do it all in one day. You just need to know when things happen in your week. So that's the magic of designing your ideal weekly schedule. And inside of the Charmed Life Master Planner, The My Ideal Week spread helps you to zoom out to see the big picture of how you are going to be spending the 168 hours of your week. So this layout allows you to visualize how your work, your rest, and responsibilities are distributed. It can help you identify where your time is leaking, and it can help you allocate space for your priorities across a full week. Again, this is not about filling every block. It's about creating a default rhythm that you can return to week after week so that your days aren't ruled by urgency, but by guided intention. So here's an example of how you might start filling out the ideal week, right? By actually blocking off time for certain things in your week so that you actually have scheduled protected time for each of your priorities. And you could also go ahead and fill out like your general work schedule and other sort of obligations that you have to deal with across the week. So with this kind of weekly map, you no longer feel like you're constantly starting from scratch. You have a template that supports your goals and adapts with your life. So everything important gets time without everything happening or having to be balanced at the same time. Tip number 5 is to capture and prioritize your tasks. So when your to-do list is overwhelming, it's usually not because you have too much to do. It's because you haven't had the chance to sort through what truly matters. So your brain is overloaded with open loops, and without a system to process them, you stay stuck in a reaction mode. And that's why one of the most empowering things you can do is capture and prioritize your tasks intentionally. So inside of the Charmed Life Master Planner, this process begins with the brain dump insert. So think of it as your mental inbox. This is where every idea, task, obligation, or worry gets written down, freeing up your mind to think strategically instead of just holding on to clutter. And once you've emptied your thoughts onto paper, you'll move on to the Organize and Act spread. So this layout guides you through the Eisenhower matrix, which is a powerful tool for prioritizing your tasks based on urgency and importance. So here's an example of how you might start filling this spread out. And as you can see on the Eisenhower matrix side, anything that falls under urgent and important is something you need to do now. Anything that is important but not urgent can be scheduled for later. Anything that is urgent but not important needs to be delegated or turned into some sort of system to make it easier for you to process. And anything that is not urgent and not important can be deferred or deleted. So the way this process works is step 1, you're going to write everything down that you need to do, everything you can think of on the left side of the spread, right? And then you're going to start actually assigning and categorizing those actions into the proper next action for them, whether or not it's something you need to do now, something you need to delegate, something you need to schedule, or something you need to delete or defer. So this insert is a turning point in your planning process because it takes your swirling mental chaos and turns it into clear, actionable steps. So you'll walk away knowing exactly where your time and energy should go next because you have a little plan, a prioritized plan mapped out for what is important for now and what can be done later. Number 6 is to brainstorm your brilliant ideas. So productivity isn't just about checking off tasks, it's about giving yourself the time and space to think creatively and strategically. If you're constantly stuck in execution mode, right, you miss the opportunity to design better systems, solve problems, or chase bold new ideas. And that's why brainstorming is a core part of the functional planning process. So in the Charmed Life Master Planner, we have the brainstorm and plan and prep spread, and it's designed to help you move from raw ideas to structured plans. So this 2-part insert gives you a mind map layout, right, where you're going to be able to explore your ideas, identify problems, and build out a concept visually, and a brainstorm page to organize your final insights into tasks, notes, or next steps. This is where you get to explore ideas freely before committing to a plan. It's ideal for content creation, project strategy, decision making, or any time you need to see your thoughts take shape. So let's see a little example. Let's say that you are launching a new offer. You're going to use that plan and prep section to outline the key pieces of the plan, right? So content ideas, the tech setup, the timeline, the audience that you're launching to. And then you can move all of those ideas that you get out of your head and onto paper into the brainstorm page where you can actually start creating specific action steps or additional resources or notes that you need to gather, right? So too many planners skip this step, right? But you need the space to think and be messy before you get organized. So this spread ensures that inspiration doesn't get lost and that you're not building plans on unclear ideas. Number 7 is to balance your workload. So one of the biggest reasons women fall behind in their goals isn't because they're unmotivated, it's because they're trying to do everything at once. And without a system for pacing your goals across the year, it's easy to overload yourself in January and then burn out by March. So that's why balance isn't just a feeling, it's a strategy. And inside the Charmed Life Master Planner, the objectives matrix is your built-in tool to create that balance. So this spread helps you to map your objectives, whether they're projects or systems or habits, across the full year using a visual grid. So on this page, you will define short-term objectives, which would be like your monthly focus, midterm objectives, like quarterly focus, and then long-term objectives, things that you'll be working on for like half or the full year, right? So by assigning your objectives in this way, you are going to ensure that your goals are spaced out, manageable, and aligned with the natural rhythm of your year. So here's a little bit of an example here. Let's say in January, you want to start a wellness habit. In Q2, you're going to be launching a new digital product. In September, you want to begin a decluttering project for your home, and then perhaps ongoing throughout the year, you want to prioritize weekly family dinners or business admin routines, right? So this spread is going to give you peace of mind because it shows you that yes, you can do it all, just not all at once. It allows you to say no to what doesn't fit now, knowing that it's scheduled for later, and that clarity alone can transform your entire year. Number 8 is create strategic action plans. So ideas are exciting, goals are motivating, but what actually gets things done is a strategic action plan. So when it's time to turn your objectives into results, the objective plan insert inside the Charmed Life Master Planner becomes your roadmap. This spread is designed to help you fully define, structure, and execute on your objectives in a way that feels focused and doable. So each plan allows you to name the type of objective that it is, a project, a system, or a habit, describe what you're doing and why it matters, identify the due date, the frequency, or the cue for when to act, list any resources or tools that you need, break the objective into step-by-step actions with due dates, and capture notes or related ideas. So this approach ensures that you're not just writing down like course launch on a to-do list and hoping that it gets done. You're laying out exactly how to make it happen, when to do it, and what it requires. So here is a little example of a objective plan I put together for a 4-week group coaching program. It's a project. The why is to expand your impact and revenue. We're saying the due date is April 15th. The resources are Zoom, email software, and a sales page. And then we've got our steps laid out, or we're starting to lay out our steps at least, outline the curriculum, create slides, write sales copy, schedule marketing emails. And even on the notes page, you can see I've gathered some different resources for sales page and marketing language, things that you might want to refer back to while you're working on this project. So this insert is where dreams become plans and where clarity becomes progress. Once your objective is mapped out, you can distribute those tasks across your monthly, weekly, and daily agenda spreads for seamless execution. Tip number 9 is to focus in on your month. Productivity thrives when you have a clear short-term plan. So a full year can feel abstract, but 30 days, that's a manageable container for focused, intentional progress. Each month inside the Charmed Life Master Planner, you'll use a combination of spreads to clarify your schedule, organize your tasks, and align your goals. First is the monthly plan spread, right? Where you can choose from 1 or 2 page planner layouts. We also have the monthly task list and the monthly tracker. So you will start with your monthly plan and you're going to map out like important dates, whether you prefer a full 2-page calendar view with room for weekly priorities, or a cleaner 1-page layout with color-coded blocks. You'll have the space to log things like your appointments, events, deadlines, holidays, travel, and even your weekly focus goals. Next, you'll use the monthly task list and the monthly master tracker to help you identify the tasks that you want to complete in the specific month. So you can pull tasks from your objective plans or brainstorm sessions and park them here on this spread, so you're not trying to keep everything in your head, right? So the master monthly tracker is where you're going to be able to outline up to 3 objective-based projects for the month, 5 weekly objectives that are systems or habits, and then 6 daily systems or habits, right? So this is where you're going to organize all of those goal related objectives. And then on the master task list is where you're going to be able to park any extra items that come up, things that are month specific, or just extra things that came up during a brainstorm session or some work you were assigned, or just something you remembered you need to get done in the month goes on the master task list. So let's take a look at some examples here. So the month on 2 pages, this is what it looks like blank. But once you start filling it out, you have space to put in, holidays, due dates, calendar events, trips, things like that need to be kept in focus. In the month on 1 page, this is what it looks like blank. You can do the same, but because it's a truncated view, you might want to use symbols or color coding and then list things out on the actual dated area at the bottom, the table at the bottom. You can get more specific about things that you've marked off in your monthly view. And then with the monthly tasks and tracker, this is how you might fill out a month, right? With some important objective related work on the tracker and then some extra to-dos on the task list. And together, these spreads ensure that your month isn't just full, it's focused. So you'll move forward on what matters without losing track of your vision for the year. And finally, number 10 is to seize the day. Productivity doesn't happen in your planner, it happens in your day. That's why daily execution is the heartbeat of functional planning. Once you've set your goals, mapped your objectives, and planned your month, the final step is to show up each day with clarity and intention. So the Charmed Life Master Planner offers several weekly and daily layout options so you can choose the layer of structure that suits your lifestyle. No matter your pace, each layout gives you space to define your top priorities and manage your tasks in a way that actually works for you. So here's a quick overview of your choices. So there is a week on 1 page. So this gives you minimal structure with a weekly task list, top 3 tasks per day, and a remember box for extra notes or reminders. And this is what it might look like filled out. The vertical week on 2 pages, this is a column style day with space for your top 3, extra space for tasks or for you to create a schedule, and an open box for notes. This is really great for structured days that need a sense of flow as well. And here's an example of how you might fill out a day inside of the vertical week on 2 pages. Next is a horizontal week on 2 pages. This gives you a little bit more space to organize your tasks. You get 2 task lists, one for business, one for personal, a space for your objectives, a place for a reminder, your weekly habit tracker, and of course, a whole page with your top 3s and an open block for any sort of items that might need to be scheduled, right? So this is what that spread might look like once you start to fill it out with information. And then finally, you have the day on 1 page. This is a full daily breakdown. It gives you a top 3, a today box, a full schedule, a full to-do list, right? And space for writing down your gratitude or tracking something that you need to remember throughout the day. And this is what it might look like once you start filling it out. So you will really use these spreads to bring your plans to life. So each morning, I recommend you check in on your objectives, identify your top 3 priorities, and map out your tasks or appointments for the day. These layouts are going to turn your planner into your personal assistant. You're not just reacting to the day, you're directing it with purpose. And best of all, when life gets chaotic, because it will, these spreads will help you to recalibrate quickly. All you have to do is open your planner, check your priorities, and take 1 step forward. So are you ready to organize your life with a functional system? The truth is, staying organized isn't just about having the right planner pages, it's about having the right framework. So the Charmed Life Master Planner isn't just a collection of inserts, it's a complete proven system that helps you think clearly, prioritize intentionally, and take aligned action. Whether you're a solopreneur managing a business, a working mom balancing family logistics, or a multi-passionate woman with big dreams, this planner gives you the tools to plan your life with confidence, not chaos. right? So when you purchase the Charmed Life Master Planner, any of the iterations of the planner come with over a dozen elegantly designed pages. So the core pages include the master planning worksheets, dividers, yearly calendars, objectives, brain dump, brainstorm, and notes. The printable PDF version of the planner gives you your choice of monthly and weekly inserts. You get 2 file sizes, a half letter and a Filofax personal size. Both of those sizes are included with whatever purchase you make in terms of the monthly and weekly layouts. You get both sizes so that you'll be able to print the inserts at the scale that you need. In the digital planning PDF, they include monthly, weekly, and daily pages standard, so you don't have to make a choice of what inserts to use. And there are 2 file orientations that are included with this option. You get both landscape and portrait when you purchase the digital planning PDF. Finally, the book-bound version of the Master Planner is on Amazon, and it has the same core, but it is an undated planner, right? So you're going to get undated versions of all of the inserts. And this planner comes standard with the month on 2 pages and the vertical week on 2 pages, that column style spread. That is the default setting for the book-bound planner. And of course, if you want to get started with your master planner right now, you can use the code MASTERPLAN2026 for 25% off of your order at thecharmshop.com. That means for the printed version or for the digital version, you can get 25% off. This code does not apply to the planner on Amazon, but the planner on Amazon is very competitively priced. So I think you're going to find that you can squeeze it into your budget. Next, if you want to learn more about functional planning and really master the philosophy, purchase the Functional Planning Handbook. This is my best-selling book on the complete functional planning methodology. It is an excellent reference and it's a companion to the Charmed Life Master Planner. Or you can download the free functional planning dashboard. So this dashboard teaches you the 3 phases of functional planning. It's a great way to practice, learn the process, and start changing the way that you actually think about organizing your time and tasks. All of these things will be linked down in the description of the video. So those are the 10 ways to organize your life with a functional planner. I hope that these strategies and tips helped you to understand how functional planning is really a system that is so much different than the standard planners that are out there on the market, and how it can really help you to get intentional and organized and productive, right? By helping you take the full year of possibilities and really get it allocated and distributed so that you have time to work on your personal tasks and goals and balance that very nicely with all of the other priorities that I know you have going on in your life. So if you enjoyed this video, I would really love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with anyone you think would find it interesting. I would love to know what you think, what part of this system is the most impactful to you. What do you think is the thing that you're missing right now that you really need in a planner? I want you to go ahead and let me know down in the comments box. For more of the behind the scenes of my productivity, life, and business, make sure you're following me at MissTrenchcoat on Instagram. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.